Hi, I'm Heidi Lindemann. I'm a therapist and IFS therapist in Longmont, Colorado, and I have a private practice called Self-Grounded Therapy. So it's been about a year since I've posted, so I just want to name that happened. A year went by, almost exactly. Last time I posted was on January 15th in 2021, and we are on January 21st in 2022. So just to let you know, I had a baby in February of 2021 and have been trying to survive. And I am definitely surviving and getting back to creativity and wanting to share more about our world. And we're also still in a pandemic, so that's hard. Year 3-ish we're going on now. So today I just wanted to talk a little bit about how we might cope with the pandemic that continues to go on. I've been seeing a lot about how people are feeling really overwhelmed. There's a lot of anxiety rising. There's a lot of existential dread, questioning when the heck is this ever going to end? Is it ever going to end? So I just want to walk through a little bit about how we can help ourselves with these parts that are rising. So the only real answer I have is validation. Of course we're anxious. Of course we have existential dread. Of course we're numbing out. Of course it's all happening. There's a lot going on in our world. So when I think about what's happening right now, the biggest things that I'm seeing are there's a lot of anxiety, or anxiety that maybe you've had before has been rising significantly into new realms where maybe you felt some anxiousness before, or like you had a little bit of worry, but it didn't really, it didn't affect your life and like making you not be able to function. And you might be noticing now that the anxiety has come to such a level where maybe sometimes you struggle sleeping, or you're really constantly worrying, or you're afraid to go outside, or you're afraid, when's the next time I'm going to run into somebody who has COVID? Is that going to be the one that I get? There might be a lot of just questions in your mind. That's the way sometimes anxiety shows up. It can kind of feel like this spinning, oh my goodness. So if that's something that's happening with you, I just want you to sit for a moment to recognize it, to see if you can notice it in your body. Can you feel those spinning thoughts? Can you notice what they're saying? And then take a deep breath and see if you can access or even hear, of course you're anxious. It makes so much sense that you would be really anxious right now. The world is scary. There's things that are unknown. And my guess is your anxiety is really working to try to help keep you safe. Thinking if you don't go outside, that there might be a way to keep you from getting sick. Or if you stay up at night and think about the stuff, you might come across the answer that you've been looking for. Just see if you can notice the feelings, the sensations, and have a sense of, oh, that makes so much sense. Yeah, I feel that. It's hard right now. Maybe you've even gotten to a place where you feel numb, where you're noticing you don't even care anymore. You just want this to go away. You don't worry about it. You just are like, whatever, I'm going to go do whatever I want to do. I'm going to go out into the world. I'm going to keep doing. But inside you really feel shut down. It's like there's no feeling or sensations. It's a lack. There's nothing there. It's non-existence you really want to live either. And those numb parts might be saying, oh, it's just too much. I can't handle this. I can't feel all that anxiety or all the fear or all the worry. That's too much. It's better to feel nothing. So that part of you is working hard to help you feel safe, to help you feel some sense of calmness, potentially, and coming out in a way where it feels like you're numb instead. So see if you can just turn towards that. Notice those sensations in your body. Where is it resting? In or around your body? What does that numb feeling feel like if that's something you are feeling? See if you can tap into that for a moment. And then extend some compassion, or see if you can feel, of course you're numb. How couldn't you be numb with everything that's happening in our world? There's all so much information coming to you. There's too much to even maybe really even feel all of it, to process all of it. There's not enough time or space because things just keep coming at you again and again and again. And it makes a lot of sense that you would numb out. You're working to try to keep yourself safe. Of course you feel numb. See if you can breathe and just validate any numb feelings that you might be feeling at the moment or have felt recently. Of course you're numb. It makes so much sense. Something else you might be feeling is this sense of existential dread. There's a lot in our world right now that's being brought up. There's worry about climate change. There's worry about racial injustices. There's gun violence. There's COVID still. There's so much being stirred up in our world on a national level and likely on an individual level or within your own community, wherever you are. Stuff is being seen and it's really hard to see it. And when we have all of that, there's this sometimes parts of us that feel this existential dread, like, oh my gosh, it's never gonna get better. We're all doomed to death. The world is gonna blow up, or I'm never going to get what I want or need. There's like no freaking point to even try anymore. There's a little bit of hopelessness into that too. But that existential dread, it's real and it's coming up. It might be leaving you feeling very burned out and you just don't know what to do. There's just so much. Like, how do you solve climate change? Or how do you solve racial injustice? Or how do you solve gun violence? Or how do you solve suicidal crises? Anything is too much for one person. And it's all right in front of your face. So of course there's some sense of like, I can't do this. It's too much. Existential dread makes so much sense. It's coming up in our whole humanity. It's this uprising of seeing what's hurting so many people and yet feeling like there's very little we can impact. So of course you feel some sense of existential dread. Like, who are you? Who are we? What are we doing? How do we make it better? And not knowing. So if you're feeling those things, if you're feeling that existential dread, if you're feeling that deep worry about massive things that are happening in the world, see if you can validate, if you can feel that. Feel it in or around your body. What does it feel like? And then send some energy or see if these words can reach it. Oh, it makes so much sense that you would be feeling existential dread, that you would be feeling that deep worry about our humanity, about who we are as people, about how you can even be in this world anymore. Of course you are. There's so many things that are going on in our world. It makes so much sense to be feeling that. And just let it settle, sending that validation to those parts of you. And I'm also guessing that there's parts of you that are trying to make it all better, that are searching for something, anything, for how do I be happy again? How do I feel purpose in my life? What do I need to do to stop feeling these terrible, overwhelming, anxiety producing, existential dread, numbing feelings? Like, no one wants to feel those things. So, of course, there's parts of you who are trying really, really hard to feel happy, to find where your happiness is, to read self-help books, or to go to therapy, or to reach on your spiritual support, or whatever you're trying to do, but working really, 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 really hard to try to make those things go away. Of course, there's parts who are doing that because no one wants to be feeling those things. It's really hard to sit in those kinds of places, to sit with those emotions and almost wonder, like, are they going to take me over? Is it all true? Is it all going to become true if I let it be there? And I just want to be happy. I just want peace. I just want calmness. So of course, there are parts of you trying to make it all better, trying to keep you afloat every day, being like, okay, what's something that made me happy today? Or what can I do to make me happy? Or what self-care do I need to do? Or what self-help book do I need to read? Or what am I missing? What's the thing that I need to do now to make me happy? Because I'm not happy. So just turn to those parts. See if you can feel where that energy is in your body, if you're experiencing that. And let them know, of course you feel that. Of course you're working so hard. See if you can extend some gratitude to them for all the work they're doing. And see if they can give you some space and just rest, knowing that they don't have to try so hard, that you can feel it all, a little bit at a time. It's a lot. It's a lot right now. And my guess is that there's parts of you, maybe those ones that are trying to make you happy, or maybe other ones that they have had hope. They have seen, oh, okay, this might come to an end. The pandemic specifically. Their vaccines are on the horizon. That happened. Many of us were able to get vaccinated. Boosters came about. We were able to get booster shots. And then that hope might have been dashed by this surge of Omicron. Of course it is. Of course it got dashed. Of course we're like, well, here we are again. The surge is even bigger than it's ever been before. So what do? We have to keep isolating. We have to keep being in quarantine and reminding ourselves, yeah, we are still in a pandemic. Even though there's other parts of us that are trying to numb out, just want to get back into the world, just want it to end, just want it to be over. Of course, we want it to be over. This has been a long time. It's been 3-ish years of our world, our lives completely shifting, and that there's a lot of unknown still. If you have kids, there's a lot of unknown of, will their school be open? Will daycare be open? When's the next time it's going to close? There's so many illnesses going around, not just COVID, but COVID makes it intensified, because when school closes, the kid has to be home. And if they get COVID, they have to be home for 10 days if they can't wear a mask. My little one has to be home for 10 days. We just had to do that, actually. There's no one else to watch them. There's no support. People aren't going to watch a kid who has COVID, generally speaking. At least that's what I found. If you find something different, thank God for your support. We're all trying to keep each other safe. So, of course, nobody is going to watch the kid who has COVID, and you have to isolate for 10 days, which means you're out of work for 10 days, or you have to you have to be mom and working, or dad and working. And that's hard. That's hard. So the hope being dashed, of course it's feeling dashed. It's still hard, and we're still working, and we're still surviving. So just see if you can feel any of those parts that had hope that got dashed, where that is and around your body. And see if you can let them know, oh, of course you feel that. This has been so long. We've been in this for a long time. We thought there was hope. We thought we were going to get out of this. We thought a couple of weeks would be, oh, it's could be a month or two. We're like, okay, it'll be a year. Okay, it'll be when we get the vaccines. Okay, it'll be when we get the boosters. And now we're like, what is it now? Okay, now it's when everybody gets the vaccine and we're boosted and all of that. Is that true? Who knows? So of course it makes sense. Of course, it makes sense that you feel that dashed hope, a little bit of hopelessness. There's a lot we don't know. See if you can send that validation to those parts of you. And then I just want you to see if you can sink in even a little deeper. Notice specifically what's happening in or around your body. What parts of you are coming up? What are you feeling? What do you notice? What are the sensations in your body? What are the feelings? Where are they? Just noticing. So just take a moment to notice everything in your body, or what needs your attention most. And breathe. And whatever you're noticing, see if you can tap into a place where you can send validation to them, where you can say, of course that makes sense. See if you can actually feel the words, the energy behind your words, knowing that you actually really truly mean, yeah, of course it makes so much sense. If your heart can be open towards those parts of you, towards those feelings, and just see if you can send that energy, just that alone, sending that validation to those parts of you, and just sit with that for a moment. And as you're sitting with it, see if you can notice, what is it like for those parts of you to feel that validation? What does that feel like for them? See if you can tap into what that feels like to them. Notice if there's a sense of softening or relief or some breathing space. See if it creates any sense of there's just a little bit more room inside to breathe and to rest for a moment. If that's happening, the validation is resting with those parts and they're feeling it from you and they're grateful to have you there. If you're not noticing that, if you're noticing feelings of hopelessness or heaviness or anything like that, just recognize that that's another part and it's asking you for your validation too. So just notice, oh, there's that hopeless one, or there's that heavy energy in my belly. And see if you can just extend some validation to that or get to know it a little bit. I see you. Oh, you're feeling very hopeless. You don't know if this validation is enough. See if you can send validation to that. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, validation may not feel like enough. May not feel like enough for the amount of world things we're in right now. it may not feel like enough. That makes sense too. And just see if you can send some open, loving curiosity energy towards it. And then just at this moment, bringing yourself back out of this, send some energy to all those parts, any part of you, letting it know that you're grateful that it's there, that you see it, and that you get it. Even just the, oh yeah, I see you and I get it. That's enough for right now. And then take a few deep breaths to help transition yourself back out into your external world, knowing that there's a little bit of validation that you had today inside. And as you come back out into your external world, just breathing gently into your room, noticing the things around you. Where are you? Noticing how your body feels on whatever you're sitting on. Looking around your room and just recognizing where you are. Seeing if your eyes want to land in any particular place. Just calling yourself back. And I just want you to know that this is something that you might be able to do for yourself. You can do it in longer terms. You can do it with just one specific feeling or part that comes up. And you can do it in like 2 minutes or less. Or maybe more. Whatever it is that you need. But just recognizing, oh, throughout the day or the week when it starts to feel, when you start to have a part coming up, just noticing and be like, oh, yeah. Oh, I'm feeling some anxiousness again. That part of me is feeling anxious. That makes sense. Oh, right. Yeah. I was just about to go into a coffee shop. Of course it's feeling anxious. Yep. And just pausing and validating. And just seeing what that does for you. So I hope this was helpful for you. Please subscribe. Click the button below and subscribe so you can get updates. I am planning on doing more updates and not going another year. I am not pregnant right now, so we'll keep doing and I'll keep sharing, and I want to share with you so that you can have a more be more in touch with your own inner world. That's really my goal, is to help people do that. And I'll be talking more about some of those things that I have the most skill around: suicidal parts, depression, anxiety, trauma, those things that are coming up. Spirituality might get thrown in there too, so make sure you subscribe. And also please leave comments below, especially if there's things that really resonated with you in this video. Let me know. I would love to hear how this resonates with you. Sometimes that also even helps other people. And then if there's anything that you really are looking for, hoping to have, or would love to have a YouTube on, let me know. And if it resonates with me, I will do a video on it. So yeah, subscribe. Thank you so much. Leave comments. And if you want to find me, you can find me at selfgroundedtherapy.org.